Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Second of all, I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And third of all, I want to give a peace and safety to for the elect out there, the brothers that push this truth, the truth of the King James Bible, in all truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. Alright, so I just want to do a short video of how alone the spirit of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai allows it to go. I don't want to name the video. I will punish all that oppress thee. Alright, and that's paraphrasing from Jeremiah, the 30th chapter, which I'm going to read here in a second. Alright, and as you can see on the screen, I have the table of the nations. Alright, and I want to focus on 2 down to 18. Alright, which are all the heathen nations. Alright, number 1, of course, is the nation of Israel. Alright, or Yasharallah, which is the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, which are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native and Seminole Indians. Alright, but I want to focus on 2 to 18, which are the heathen nations. Alright, who have, especially the so-called white man. Alright, on down, all of these nations. Alright, they've all taken part, either had us in slavery at some point. Alright, they dealt harshly with us. Alright, in the past and in these times as well. Alright, and they all hate us. They all show hate towards us. Alright, again, especially the so-called white man. Alright. So the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is going to pay all these heathen nations back. All right, and how is he going to do that? All right, by putting them under our feet, putting them in slavery to us. All right, putting them in chains and making them serve us, just like we had to do for them back in the past. All right. Especially, again, the so-called white man. Number 2 on the list, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right? But all these other nations as well. All the rest of the other 16 nations as well. Not just the so-called white man. All you nations. All right? You so-called Hamites. You so-called Arabs. All right? All of you are going to go into slavery because you all had a hand in our oppression. You hate us. All right? You hated us back then. You show hate towards us back then in the past, and you show hate towards us now. And you're going to have to pay for that, man. All right, you're going to have to pay for that. All right, when you read the parable of Lazarus, it speaks about the dogs coming to lick the wounds. Those are the other nations. All right, they didn't, like Moab. Moab has a mighty army. All right, they could come and take up for us. All right, stand up for us against the so-called white man. But does he do that? No. All right, because they're all in it together. They all hate us together, like it tells you in Psalms 83rd chapter. All right, they're basically all in it together. It's like it says, they come together with one consent, man. All right, to come against us, the nation of Israel. All right, so let's get that in Jeremiah first. It's Jeremiah 17. It's like in Jeremiah chapter, I'm going to start at verse 18. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 18. And thus saith the Lord, behold, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob's tent, which is us, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native and Seminole Indians, and have mercy on his dwelling places. And the city shall be built upon her own heaps, and the places shall remain after the manner thereof. And out of them shall proceed thanksgiving, and the voice of them that make merry. And I will multiply them, and they shall not be few. And I will also glorify them, and they shall not be small. And their children also shall be as aforetime, and their congregation Salakia shall be established before me. And I will punish all that oppress them. Right, the Lord said, I will punish all that oppress them. Who oppressed us? These are the nations, the other 17 nations. They're the ones that oppress us, and they're going to have to pay. Every last one of them is going to have to pay, especially Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, they're all going to have to pay. From 2 to 18, they're all going to have to pay. All right, because they're not innocent. They're just as maybe not as guilty as the so-called white man, but they're guilty too, man. They're guilty also. All right, and they're going to have to pay. All right, and again, they're going to pay with slavery. Let's go. Verse 16, jump up to verse 16. This is Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee should be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them should go into captivity. Who are our adversaries? These other 17 nations are our adversaries. All right. and every one of them shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey, right? Spoil means they took from us, they robbed us, all right, they prey upon us, all right, and I will give them for a prey. So the Lord's gonna basically do a role reversal. We're gonna spoil you, all right. We're gonna prey upon you, all right. All our adversaries, all right, which are the other 17 nations, all right. Let's get real quick Psalms 83, verse I started verse 1. Keep not a psalm of Asaph. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a turmoil, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. All right, these other nations hate Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, they hate our powers, and they hate us. All right, verse 3. And they have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Who's the Lord's people? The Israelites. All right, and consulted against thy hidden ones. And they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. Who said that? These other nations, these other 16, 17 nations. All right. That's why they have the UN meetings, or they have what you call it, the what you call that shit, man? Damn, damn, what you call it, man? Where all the nations meet together. All right, and they ain't one. They ain't no nation of Israel up there. So like it, there's no nation of Israel up there. All right, they're all heathen nations. All right, they all, it's like it, they all be heathen nations, nations. All right, damn, what you call that, man? I'm gonna kick myself for that, man. What you call that, man? I forget what you call it, but when all the nations meet together, all right, and then you got the high up elites. They have these secret meetings, like the Progressive Council or the Bilderbergs and all of that, and they discuss our downfall. They discuss how they're gonna kill us and murder us and come up against us. All right, so they have taken crafty counsel against our people and consulted against our hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, and that's what they want to do, that the name of Israel may no more be in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, and they are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, the so-called white man, and Ishmael, the so-called Arabs of Moab, and the Hagarenes, so-called Japanese, so-called Chinese, like it, Gabal and Ammon, and Amalek, so-called Jews and Japanese. All right, the Japanese and the so-called Jews, and the Philistines, Hamites, and with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them, and they have hope in the children of Lot. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, Salakia, as to Jabin at the brook of Kishon, which perished at uh, Ekdor, Salakia, and they became as dung for the earth. All right, so Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is going to do the same thing to these nations, man. All right, we're going to put all of them in slavery, man. And Esau, Edom, all right, number 2 on the list, we're going to completely and utterly, through the Spirit, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, so like it's going to do away with him altogether, do away with the whole nation of Edom. All right, but the rest of these nations, they're going to be in subjection to us forever. All right, that's how it's supposed to be anyway. All right, okay, one of my favorite scriptures. This is Leviticus chapter 25, verse 44. Both thy bondmen and thy bondmaid, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about thee. Who are the heathen? These other 17 nations that you see on the screen. These are the heathen. All right, that are round about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids. What's a bondman and a bondmaid? A slave. All right, a slave. Moreover, the children of strangers that sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, and of their families that are with you, which they begot in your land, they shall be your possession. They should be your possession, man. All right. Another scripture comes to mind, man. The scripture say what joint is with the Lord Yahweh Shai, man. All right. And Yahweh Shai is going to inherit the heathen, and what joint is with Yahweh Shai. All right. So we're going to inherit the heathen as well. All right. Barakatah Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. This is Psalms chapter 2, verse 7. I will declare the decree. The Lord have said unto me, thou art my son, this day I have begotten thee. All right, who's the Lord's son? The only begotten son, the Lord Yahweh Shai, who the word of ignorance calls Jesus. Verse 8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, in the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Right? The Lord said, asking me, and I should give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, which are those other 17 nations of thy inheritance, in the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. And thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, and thou shalt dash them into pieces like the potter's clay, man. Right? Because they're going to be our possession. We can do whatever we want with them, as long as it's in the guise of our laws, statutes, and commandments. And we better believe we're gonna put hands on these devils, man. The so-called white man and all these other nations. All right. And again, like it says in Romans 8, we're joint heirs with the Lord Yahweh Shai. So everything Yahweh Shai gets, we're gonna get. All right, including slaves. All right, including slaves. Get one more scripture and I'm gonna close it up. And there's tons of scriptures you can get, but this is Revelation chapter 13, verse 9. This is a classic. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth in captivity should go into captivity. And those nations that had us in slavery, all right, throughout history. All right, and we're still in slavery to the so-called white man. So the Lord said, he that leadeth into captivity should go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Right, we had many wars, such as with the Hamites, all right, such as with Edom, all right, any other nations. He that killeth with the sword, and they, killed us, murdered us, all right? Especially the so-called white man. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints, which the saints are the Israelites, all right? The saints are the Israelites. And one more scripture came to mind. Dang, I lost it. Is it Baruch Salakia? Yes, in Baruch Salakia. I gotta find it real quick, dude. Salakia. Yeah, okay, here it is. This is Baruch chapter 4, verse 23. For I sent you out with mourning and weeping, but Yahweh will give you to me again with joy and gladness forever. Verse 24, here's the point. Like as now all the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity. Who are the neighbors of Zion? All right. 2 to 18 are the other 17 nations. All right. Neighbors of Zion. All right, like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity shortly. So it's like it. So shall they see shortly your salvation from Yahweh, our power. Right, and 2022 is gonna be a hell of a ride, man. We're less than tomorrow is the 31st. All right, the last day of 2020, so-called 2021, and we're going head. 2022 is going. It looks like it could kick off with a bang, Lord will. Like feels like in the spirit, 2022 is going to be a big year, but we got to wait and see. All right, but shortly, and it could be the year we get delivered, Lord will. All right, the Lord said shortly, and they see, and it's like, and so shall they see shortly your salvation from your power, which shall come upon you with joy, with great glory and brightness of the everlasting Salakia. Verse 25, my children suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from Yahweh, for thy enemy have persecuted thee. And again, the enemy are these other nations, the other 17 nations. But shortly thou shalt see his destruction, right? The so-called white man on down to the other nations, and shall tread upon his neck, and that's what we're going to do, starting with the so-called, especially the so-called white man. But these other nations as well, we're going to have our boots on their neck as well, all right, in the kingdom of heaven. All right, thus says Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. And with that, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to our great powers, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. Second of all, I want to give again double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Elder Tahar, and on down to rule well, and peace and safety to the brothers that push this truth and sincerity. And with that, I'm going to say shalom to the elect.